Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Am I doing speech or bio?
Is it a speech or bio, Fritz?
We are trying to establish if we're having the minister with us, the deputy minister, and I'm going to introduce the deputy minister to the audience here. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Let me quickly explain who will be speaking to us. Our deputy minister is Dr. David Masondo. He holds a PhD from New York University, and his PhD thesis focused on the post-apartheid state industrial policy and investment in South African automotive industry. He is also a Witsie, like me. I want to say yay, Wits. He has his BA Honours and MA from the University of the Witwatersrand. He's currently serving as the Deputy Minister of Finance, the board chairperson of the Public Investment Corporation, the PIC, and the principal of the O.R. Tambo School of Leadership. Dr. David Masondo is also a member of the ANC NEC, and he serves on the Political Education and Economic Transformation subcommittees. He has been a political activist for over a period of 30 years. He has held different positions and different political and managerial positions, both in government and in his party. He served as the MEC of Finance, and he also served as the Chief Executive Officer of the Automotive Industry Development Centre, which was an entity of the Gauteng provincial government. Currently, he not only is the Deputy Minister of Finance for the government of South Africa, he's also fortunate enough for some of the students at WITS to be lecturing. And he lectures both undergraduate and postgraduate students in courses like States and Markets, a module, as well as the political economy of modern South Africa. Deputy Minister, you are well placed to give us some of the remarks at the end of our winter school. Please take it away for us. Thank you.
Thanks, Ronette, the acting head of GTEC, esteemed speakers, industry experts, treasury officials, including GTEC, and civil servants from other departments and entities, the media, and our special guests, that is the students. Good afternoon. We have today come to an end of the 6th GTEC Winter School. The Winter School, with its mixture of the youth, who in majority are the students, and experienced professionals from government, academia, and the private sector, is a perfect platform to allow for a fresh and at the same time experienced view of the world we inhabit and continuously want to make sense of it. It is refutable that this formula is working because the winter school is expanding every year, growing both in numbers as well as the quality of the discussions. I understand you have had more than 50 participants this year, and it's also meaningful that this includes a healthy representation from outside our borders of South Africa. This affirms the idea that the development of South Africa cannot be separated from the rest of the continent and the world at large. I believe that the last 3 days have been enriching, that the views and perceptions you held may have been challenged and enriched by presentations made by our speakers, and as well as through the discussions amongst yourselves. I'm sure that everyone gained tremendous insight about infrastructure investment, especially at a local government level. The youth of any country, especially in developing country is key to the development and economic growth of the country. In developing countries like ours, the future is still being created and shaped. And you have the opportunity to be the authors of this book being written about your country. My question to you as this cohort for the winter school is, what now from here? What are you going to do with the knowledge you've gained? Will you be getting involved in projects and opportunities at your learning institutions, your communities, and in other organizations where you'll be applying the knowledge you've gained during this winter school? How do you think you will contribute to making a difference where you are and becoming part of the change we need as a country? Have you managed to trigger your interest in refining your field of study, your field of work? These are some of the things I would like you to ponder from today onwards. The winter school sought to give you a glimpse of the challenges as well as the opportunities we encounter as government. And we hope we have managed to enable you to see government as an opportunity through which we can all shape South Africa. One of the key areas that all speakers spoke on was the fact that the revival of public sector investment in infrastructure for community development is not a one-person show. It requires collaboration and cooperation. The Economic Recovery and Recovery Plan identifies infrastructure investment and related institutional reforms as critical for supporting higher economic growth, job creation, and poverty alleviation. Many of these reforms involve pooling resources with the private sector, multilateral development banks, and development finance institutions to fund infrastructure investment more effectively. In our discussions about infrastructure investment, we need to also recognize the challenge of underspending on infrastructure projects and how the lack of skills to deliver these projects, red tape, cumbersome procurement processes contribute to this challenge. Another challenge that rears its ugly head when it comes to infrastructure is considerable waste and corruption that often characterize selection and execution of infrastructure projects, resulting in unnecessary high costs of delivering infrastructure projects, and at the extreme, a failure to deliver on infrastructure projects at all. It is also important to mention that wasteful expenditure and corruption is one of the key challenges facing us in delivering infrastructure. It only takes a weak and a corrupt civil servant, an equally opportunistic and corrupt citizen, and/or a company to toggle to the tune called corruption. With this, I want you all to know that we all have a responsibility towards combating corruption, whether it is a public representative like myself or yourselves as students and young professionals, does not start with a billion-rand project. It merely starts with you offering, when you offer a traffic officer what is called, in quotes, cold drink money, because you drank too much whilst out with your friends, or because you happen to not have a license with you. The eradication of corruption is our collective duty and responsibility. As I conclude, all is not gloom and doom, regardless of our present day challenges. As a matter of fact, my colleagues and I in the executive, under the leadership of President Cyril Ramaphosa, are very excited about the future of infrastructure investment in South Africa. We recognize the potential it has in unlocking the growth and development of South Africa and improving the quality of our lives. It is for this reason that we have dedicated government to infrastructure drive. In the current 3-year medium-term expenditure framework starting April 2022, allocations for public investment spending are estimated at 812.5 billion. This compares to 627 billion that was allocated in the 3-year MTF ending 2022, which is a 30% increase. This is an important step in terms of moving closer to the National Development Plan targets. And it's an important signal to investors and the industry and society that government is committed to ramping up infrastructure delivery. Ramping up infrastructure delivery requires all hands on deck, and that includes you, my fellow civil servants, industry experts, and more importantly, the future of our country, which is the youth. On behalf of the National Treasury and GTEC and its head, acting head, Ronette Engela, thank you to all speakers. You certainly did your part, and excellently so. It is now up to you, the participants, to take the knowledge and insight you have gained and be part of the team that is committed to change our country for the better. Thank you all and enjoy the rest of the week.
Hi, thank you very much, DM. I mean, those were lovely words, and we really appreciate your good wishes, but also your frankness. And I saw the students really giving you a wonderful hand of applause as you were talking around the anti-corruption strategies and here at the end of your speech. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for giving us such a good insight into what it is possible for us, addressing the students here. So, colleagues and participants, students, you've all heard the DM now. So now it's left to me to conclude our winter school. I want to say, Vusi, our dancing facilitator, what a winter school. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to the students and the various colleagues, the speakers, who have all joined us in making this winter school experience unique. I really enjoyed the fact that from the word go, from our very first speaker, our acting DG Momo, right throughout this winter school, no punches were pulled. People were frank and honest, and we spoke about what are our problems in government, what do we want to do, how to go about fixing this country. I think that the infrastructure space at local government level, we found some possible solutions. And it's good that we complain, it's good that we are honest and frank, but we also have to move towards saying, and here are some ways forward. And I find that this winter school was able to do that. We heard, also right from the word go, from Momo and then later from Sputla, that infrastructure investment is more than just a budget. It's not necessarily the challenge lies on the budget or on the funding side in South Africa, but it lies on our ability to deliver, on our bottlenecks, our lack of capacities, etc. And that's where we need to start giving our attention to. We have heard, and I want to affirm that in many instances, that due to excessive regulations that we need to comply with, that in many cases we have been regulated into non-performance and regulated into and audited into a standstill. But yes, here we are. Just this morning, we heard Barbara Mkuchini from COCTA in KZN telling us and pointing us to us that there has already been 90 service delivery protests this year. And this is mostly because of government's overpromise and underdelivery. I was blown away by the amount of stats that people were able to share with us and the stories that they can tell us. It's not necessarily a pretty story. I think we can see that. But I do get hope when I listen to each and every one of you that we're not shying away from our challenges, but that we also can speak to what we are doing to address those challenges and what we can do to achieve solutions. We hope that GTAC is certainly part of the solution-orientated team. And I hope that after this winter school, each one of you will also see yourself as part of the solution in this country. We have been very privileged to have the Deputy Minister of Finance here. Himself, as you could see from his bio, a scholar. He's got his own PhD in development economics, and it's always inspiring to listen to him, to do better, as he urges us. Thank you, DM. You, as the participants, are of course the real reason that we are here. And with more than 600 registrations this year, we ranged from, and I like to say this, Guyana to George, from Windhoek to Cambridge, from Delhi to Accra. I mean, this was an enormous success in terms of our spread, in terms of participation. We know that it's been virtual, but I want to point out to you that since yesterday, we have had 11,000 emojis coming out from you. I really want to thank you for that. It's lovely. Vusi, our facilitator, often dance facilitator, but facilitator, has been doing an excellent job. Thank you, Vusi. I really appreciate it. And I want to know that many of you might not know that, but I want to mention to you that Vusi, day job, is to be one of the brilliant young economists in Treasury. And if you're lucky, this is the quality of person you get to work with in your life. So come join us in the public sector, find gems like Vusi there, and you spend your life in an enriched way. I also want to thank the speakers. It was an enormous lineup. I'm really that all of you agree that they delivered, and I'm grateful for that. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank Dr. Marie Kirsten, the Winter School academic convener, who's worked very closely with Professor Tseki Karubi Sabina and with Andrew Donaldson, who were part of putting the programs together, both of them professors. Over the last 3 days, we've had more than 35 speakers of the highest caliber, both internationally and nationally. I would like to thank my team here in GTAC, as well as the back-end technical team and virtual team, and simply every person that has been part of working and tirelessly working to make the school happen. You are just like good wine, just getting better, and we can see from how the winter school is growing year by year by year. Colleagues, students, participants, I look forward to seeing you at the next winter school. Please keep us updated with your email address, and you'll receive an invitation from us. And with this few words, I have to say that the winter school for 2022 is now closed. Vusi?
What a way of closing a winter school on a spring day. How ironic. We close it at a very high note. Thank you so much,
It is.
Ronette. Thank you to all Ronette has thanked all of you. And I also want to express from the bottom of my heart for the great work that you've done over the past 2 days and keeping us company here. It has been very great. And we really appreciate you for that contribution that you did make, and also for being with us on the socials. I saw here, I think it's called Social Walls, and I'd like to give a special appreciation to Mamelama, I think Mamelama Molepo on LinkedIn, where he really appreciates that there has been a great reflections, among which is the necessity for adoption of the design thinking in the policy design, implementation, monitoring and evaluation processes. So you can also do like the same, engage with us on social media, follow us on LinkedIn. As we said, each and every week there is a seminar or webinar that is there to empower you. For any resources, visit our website gtech.gov.za, so you can get all the information that you need. And also, who knows, as Ronette said, be part of the bigger vision of GTech by being part of the team there. So thank you so much, Ronette. It has been great time, and really enjoyed being here for the past 2-3 days. It's been very fantastic, and thank you for organizing this session. They really enjoyed themselves.
Yes. Thank you, Vusi. Thank you for being here with us. I mean, I think it demonstrates how interesting the work is that we do.
Yeah.
If you choose to go into public economics in this country, you are going to be exposed to some of the big questions, to some of the difficult things.
Yeah.
But you can make a contribution and you can actually resolve some of the issues.
Wow.
And I think that's quite exciting.
Yeah. Now,
So-
I like how you, especially when you open, you say GTech before it was broad, and you slowly making it much more specific, right? So it speaks to the value that you want to get from the participants, right?
Exactly. We want to really drill down to a level that people understand and deal with on a daily basis. The operations of government.
Yeah.
What is going wrong there? Why can't we implement? Why, when we have got enough funds, can't we implement? Why are we always underspending in our government system? So yes, we want to resolve some of those questions. And on an annual basis, explain to people in the academic world, participants, but especially the young students, especially the young generation. Come and join us. Come and find answers to our society questions. We are an honest bunch. We're a hard-working bunch, but we're a fun bunch.
That's what I can tell. It's quite a fun institution, this one. And we back again next year around same time?
We are. We're going to be doing another winter school. It will be it is an annual institution. And next year we hope to have an audience. There will be a select small audience. And you can put your name up and explain why you think you should be in the audience. But yes, we will definitely have another winter school, bring in the academics from South Africa, illustrate our concerns, understand what we need to do in this country, and bring the young economists in.
Wow. There you have it. Next year, we are back, bigger and much better. So you don't want to miss that. Let your friends, let your families, let your close ones know that next year we are back again with a banger of a winter school. So you definitely don't want to miss that. This is where we're going to leave it for this year. This was the final session of the GTech 2022 winter school. It was great spending time with you. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you feel the same way too. What a moment to be in the GTech community now, having a winter school with everyone across the world. So thank you so much for joining us from wherever you are, for spending time with us over the past 2-3 days. We highly appreciate it, and we value your time. Your contributions you make, they will never go unnoticed. Continue the conversations on the socials. Email us on GTech. We are there to engage with you as where we go. And talking about engagement, if by any chance you want to talk to me, maybe with me, I stepped on your toes, feel free to go vusimaupa.com. Everything is there. You can just reach out. I'm happy to engage with you. But from my side, ladies and gentlemen, thanking all the studio, technical audience, our camera people, Fritz at the background, and everyone that have been making this possible. Thank you so much. From my side, it has been a pleasing pleasure and a privilege. Goodbye.